Aboruboyo, Aboyiboshishe. My name is Ogundare Oluwaseun Janet, and this is Living in Iwapele. Today, we'll be talking about Ifa, the divine guide of the African spirituality. As a new Ifa initiate myself, I'll be taking you through the journey of me exploring, understanding, appreciating, and studying the African spirituality through Isheshe, most especially through Ifa. And today I'll be talking to you about Ifa as the oldest computer in the world. I call Ifa the oldest computer based on my understanding because Ifa was present at the time of creation. Orunmila Agbomiregun is the father of Ifa, a messenger of God, and we can call him the oldest scientist or the oldest philosopher in the world because Orunmila was able to create a channel through which we can be able to hear from Olodumare instantly without us having to wait for too long before we know exactly what God wants from us or what God wants for us. Now, let us call the Ifa as the oldest computer. Like I said, it was there at the time of creation, which means that if I was there at the time when the very first humans were created, so if I knows the name of the very first humans, if I knows the time that the very first humans were created. Now, if you want to relate this to the Bible, then we talk about the Garden of Eden, we talk about Adam and Eve, we talk about Cain and Abel. When Cain killed his brother Abel and God casted him out, he was scared of the people of the world, seeing him and killing him because of what he had done. God said that the blood of his brother was crying forth from the soil. So Cain had said there that he was scared of the people of the world seeing him and killing him, and then God put a mark on his head so that when people see him, they would not kill him, and then he would be a wanderer to the end of his days. Now, this then brings the question, who are the other people in the world that Cain was referring to? Now, that is for you to know that people existed even before the story of the Bible was written. Now, this does not disqualify, the Bible and its origin. No, it just says that there are still parts of the Bible that we don't understand or that were not written. But the African spirituality goes further to explain these things to us. And then we can see this in the task given to Obatala as the creator or the maker of humans. But we will go into that study another day. Today we are focusing on Ifa. Now, Ifa was there at the time when the first humans were created, which means that your ancestor and my ancestor, Ifa was there at the time when they were created. So Ifa knows our line. When you open profiles on TikTok, on Instagram, that is how Ifa kind of keeps profile. So now, this is how the Ifa profile works. From the very first man that was created in your lineage, Ifa picks this person as number one profile, the beginning of your family tree or your bloodline. That person stands. Now, for every child that person gives birth to, and then the grandchild, and then the grandchildren, and the great 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 grandchildren, and the great 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 grandchildren, up until this point where you also are in the bloodline or in the family tree, Ifa lines everybody up. So you are so and so, the son of so and so, the daughter of so and so, and then that so and so is also the son of so and so. So Ifa keeps on lining the names from the beginning of time till this time. So Ifa knows the name of the very first man that was created in your bloodline. So that then gives us the idea of how Google works, of how Facebook, Instagram, and the rest works. You understand? So the profile of the first man has been created, and all the bloodlines or all the people that came under that particular, or everybody that that particular first man gave birth to, quote and unquote, are all lined up unto this day. So for every child born, a profile is created in the universe. And then with this profile creation linked to the direct bloodline can help to guide or to explain the journey of this person or this child or this newborn soul. And then, if peradventure, as this child is growing, some things start, occurring that the child doesn't understand, or maybe the parents don't understand, and they want to know based on the history of the bloodline. This is when Ifa is consulted. We will go into Ifa, you know, in depth, but I am just trying to give you, a summary of my understanding of Ifa so far. So, as I study Iwapele, as I walk in Iwapele, I have come to realize that everything in life is about action and reaction. And sometimes a reaction might be going on in your life that you don't know the action that caused it. These are also areas where Ifa is consulted to know what might have happened, maybe in the ancestral line, maybe something that happened even before you were born, or something that you did either deliberately or, you know, without you knowing, that might be causing a reaction in your life at that time. So IFA, being the oldest computer, is consulted and can tell you that, okay, this thing is happening based on what one of your ancestors in your lineage did, and this is how you can be able to make better choices to, stop these things from happening. I've come to understand IFA as a very, scientific, way of approaching life. It helps to guide your choices. It teaches you to be of good character. It teaches you to be of honest behavior. You cannot be aligned with your inner self if you have a terrible character. No. You cannot be well aligned with your inner self if you are selfish, if you are dishonest, or if you are wicked. All these things I've mentioned are all actions, and then they always have reactions, because if you've done something wicked to somebody, of course there's a law of karma. What goes around always comes around. So Ifa teaches us to be of good nature, to be, to seek, or let's say to ask before we do, to always take a moment to reflect on our actions before we take bold steps. Ifa teaches us to ask questions so that we don't go astray. Yoruba people will say, ẹni tó bá béèrè ọ̀nà kò kí ń ṣìnà. So before you make any drastic or big decision in your life, we consult Ifa. Either you want to get married, either you want to even travel, if you want to buy something, we consult Ifa to know if this thing we want to get or involve ourselves in is well aligned with our destiny. Like Yoruba always say once again, nǹkan tó wù mí, ẹlẹ́dàá mi má jẹ́ kó pa mí, nǹkan tó máa pa mí, ẹlẹ́dàá mi má jẹ́ kó wù mí. So in so many areas we consult the Ifa to help guide our daily choices. Now, Ifa is not rocket science, it is not voodoo, no. It is just the principles, it is just like, a principle of life. It teaches a lot of patience, a lot of clarity, a lot of honesty, and ease in the mind. So this is my first explanation as I walk in Iwapele and as I come to understand Ifa. And as time goes on, I will be sharing with you new things that I learned. So this is just like let's say like a bracket, of different things that I've learned from Ifa. So kindly follow my channel, and together we will learn, and then we will help to collectively help to clear the how do I put this, to clear the cloak of demonization that has been wrapped around African spirituality, and help more people to understand that truly home is where the heart will always be. I wish you well and I wish you Iwapele. Till we'll meet again in the next video. Area your new Ashe. Afere fún Olódùmarè.